Well, hello there. Welcome to Washing with the Queen, where I'm going to show you how to wash cashmere today at home. Because you can, and it will smell good, and it will be protected, and it will be moisturized, because wool is a natural fiber, and the wash that we're going to use today conditions it much like lotion conditions your skin. So let's get started. First off, let me move the camera up so you can actually see my face. Okay, so a little bit higher, a little bit better. We're gonna wash a couple cashmere sweaters. These two can go together because they're the same color family. Do not wash black with anything else because black will bleed and it will make everything else brown. So, the Laundress, New York, okay, wool cashmere shampoo. Shampoo, like your hair. We are shampooing a hair that came off of a, goat cashmere. Okay, highly concentrated. So, this says, Okay, so you can wash, safely clean and preserve wool, cashmere, merino, mohair, and blends with a specially formulated wash. Now, it's got cedar in there. Sweet spicy has sandalwood, orange, and rose with cedar. Moths do not like cedar. Helps repel naturally from getting moths and holes in your sweaters. Basically, hand wash or machine washing in cold water. If you machine wash, use delicate or woolen cycle. Turn the item inside out and put it in a mesh bag if you want to, but always turn it inside out. I've learned that the hard way. Otherwise, in the washing machine, when it agitates on the outside of it, it will fluff up and it won't have that nice smooth thing. So inside out. So here, we're going to do the hand wash method. Now, lay it flat to dry in the natural shape. I'm also going to soak up extra water with a towel. Never use the dryer, otherwise you'll have an itty bitty sweater. Now, it says 2 capfuls. This is expensive stuff and I love it, but I don't find that 2 capfuls is absolutely necessary, more like a squirt for each sweater. So let's look at that and I'll be back. So I'm going to talk you through this next part. So this is really cold water, okay? Do not use hot water or you will have a little sweater. So you get your sink and you're going to fill it with some cold water, enough to submerge your sweater. I'm going to do, again, this 2 in the first load. So I just do a squirt per sweater. This doesn't have the best seal because this is an old house and an old sink. Okay, so when I say a squirt per sweater, we're talking like squirt, like that much. It's not quite, there we go, not quite a capful, but, and then another squirt. So then you really want to make sure it's dissolved in the water and it smells good. Because these sweaters have only been worn once, which means they're not too stinky. All right, so then just enough water. Inside out, remember, inside out, cold water, a squirt per sweater, use like colors. Now, this is where your plunge and scrub comes in. Okay, because once you get them in there, you gotta really, it's like washing, it's like shampooing your own hair. You really gotta scrub it in. Okay? So, all right. So what I do, as you can see here, I'm really working in that wash into the actual sweater. Now, if I have stinky pits areas or something, I will go and rub that, or I'll add a little bit more, but these aren't really smelly. This is after the first wash. But you want to get your hands in there and make sure each part of the sweater has absorbed the water and the soap, shampoo, as we call it here. Okay, well, we will be back to rinse and take out the extra water. I'm going to let this sit a little bit because I like the smell and I really want it to condition the sweater. So maybe 5 minutes or so. And then we will wring. Well, we won't wring it. We will pat it dry, squeeze out the extra water and let it dry. And welcome back to washing sweaters in an old sink. the water level's gone down because it's an old sink, but it's been about 5 minutes. So now comes the fun part of rinsing and squeezing and lots of work with your hands and your forearms. Yes, it takes time to do this. Some people go to the dry cleaners, but I find that the chemicals in dry cleaning is not good for the environment, not good for my sweaters. I don't like the way it feels against my skin. This is soft and it smells good. It's good for the environment. This is like non-toxic, biodegradable, concentrated oils and everything. So it's worth it to me. And I find laundry to be therapeutic. So let's get these rinsed out. So we're gonna go, this is just, just easier to do it this way. I have a beach towel because I'll rinse it out and then I put it on a beach towel as much as I get water out of there. And then we're gonna go and I have to lay it down on the floor and compress the rest of the stuff. So that'll be scene 2. So, don't need that anymore. Let's let our water out. There we go. And you can see the cut, like the dirt, if it's pretty dirty or something, just dirt. Okay, so again, cold water. Always cold water with wool and cashmere. So I'm just squeezing it. I like to leave a little bit of the fragrance in. I mean, I don't want it sudsy, but because it's good stuff, and don't wring it, you just sort of squeeze. You don't want to mess up the fibers of the sweater. Put it there, and the second one. Everybody has their own method to making sure they get the proper water out, whether they fold it once or they do it as a lump. You do your thing. All right? Get the extra water out. So again, squeeze it, but don't wring it. You don't need to twist it. And you can see lots of water coming out of there. Oh, smells good. Now, because it's 100% wool and cashmere, it's gonna smell like a wet dog, but it will end up smelling good once it's dry. Okay, let's go get this extra water. This is the transition phase from my kitchen to my living room where I have the most space to lay out the towel. And we're going to get the extra water out and then we'll hang them up and we'll be done. And then we wait, 12 hours or so, or however long it takes. Do not put them over a vent, especially if it's really hot, because it could shrink the fibers. It's best to put them in like the middle of a room on a rack. I'll show you that at the very end. Welcome back. Okay, time to get these things extra water out of them. So I just use a beach towel or an old towel that's clean, of course. And we got to get the extra water out. This is really nothing super exciting here. This is just getting the extra water out. So my particular method happens to be, I lay it out on the floor or on a table. Right now, I don't want to lay it on a table, because it's harder on my shoulder. And I lay the sweater out like this. Okay, and then I just do the roll. I tightly roll it. I'm not worried about wrinkles because those will come out. Now, you can do this if you have good grip strength. I don't, so I'm gonna step on it. So, excuse me while I step on this flat and get the extra water out. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. So now we have a sweater that's not dripping water, no dripping, okay? So then you just reshape. So this is when you can sort of pull on it a little gently, a little bit, just reshape it. And I have found that when I hand wash my sweaters, like it says on the package, inside out, I can get this to either sometimes be a little bit bigger, or see, now it's longer. This is longer because I accidentally washed this one in the machine for the first time on gentle, on cold, I think it was in a bag, but for some reason, machine washing it does something, I don't know. It's some evil scheme magic, I'm not sure, but hand washing seems to be the best. It's almost like it allows it sort of to just relax a little bit when you're treating it gently, that kind of thing. So, one done. This towel is getting a little wet, but there's just enough space in here to absorb water from this one, because again, if you squish and get all the water out the first time, you're good to go. So let us do this. Okay. Again, excuse me while I stomp like I'm pressing grapes or something. Get all the water out. It's just easier on my shoulder. I've had a few shoulder surgeries. No reason to hurt them. Okay, same thing. Here we go. I like to pull a little bit on the front and the back. Not hard, just a little bit of snug, like a little taut. That way, when I pull on the front and the back together, I don't just pull on one side versus that way it's even across there. Give it a little shake. Ta-da! Let's hang these up. Okay, for the sake of space and just to show you, I'm going to show you what I use to dry sweaters. You can hang them over, it says to lay flat to dry, but ideally you want to lay flat on a surface where there's air coming underneath, which is why one of these little contraptions is optimal. They're not expensive. Okay, a drying rack. Now, this is an old one. There's some really good ones. But basically, again, you've reshaped your sweater and you want to lay it flat across the top. And that's about it. Make sure that it's level, okay? Depending upon how many things you're doing. You could, if you didn't have one of these, you could put it over the shower. Make sure that the door of the shower is open or the shower curtains open, and you're gonna lay it over, because once it dries, you'll be able to safely steam out any weird lines. All right, so that's all she wrote, folks. This has been Washing with the Queen. I hope that you enjoyed it. And now you know how to do sweaters, wool, cashmere, merino wool, or anything else that has natural fibers like that. Even some nice linen or cotton will work with a wool wash. So have a great night. Bye.